Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the University of Arizona Online's Corporate Partner Webinar Series. We are thrilled you're here today. My name is Cara Forney. I am the Executive Director for Arizona Online Corporate Initiatives and Business Development. And you are here because your company has partnered with us to develop a comprehensive set of benefits around pursuing a degree with the University of Arizona. And a part of that partnership is developing this set of webinars for our corporate partner employees to dig a little bit deeper and give you a bit of an overview of specific degree programs that are 100% online and part of Arizona Online's platform. So one of the most popular ones by far with our corporate partner employees is our Bachelor of Science in Business Administration through our top-ranked Eller College of Management. So in today's webinar, we're going to take a specific look at a class. It's one of the most popular classes within the program, Business Communications, as well as give you an overview of what it's like to be an Eller Online student. So with me today to do that is Kat Hills, lecturer, and Kim Marchesalt, senior lecturer from our Business Communications Department at Eller, as well as Megan Welch. And Megan is one of our fantastic success coaches for Eller Online students. So we're thrilled to have them, and we're thrilled to have you here today. Just a couple of quick things to note. As participants, you guys will be on mute for the entire presentation, but at the end of the presentation, you'll have a chance for Q&A, and you can write any of your questions or comments by using the Q&A feature that's in your toolbar. So again, thanks for being here. We're very excited about these webinars and to kick it off with our Eller College of Management, and I will hand it over to Kat Hills.
Well, hello, my name's Kim Marchesalt. I'm one of the business communications instructors, and we're really excited to tell you about our Business Communications 314 course and the transformative journey that you'll get to go on as a student in the course. So I'm just going to overview the benefits of the course as we walk through the 7.5-week course. We're going to do a deep dive into one of our course components, which is we love to call people styles. And then, as Cara mentioned, we'll have time for Q&A at the end. If you have questions at any time, feel free to type them in the Q&A function, and we'll definitely address those as we get to the end of the presentation. So Business Communications 314 is a favorite among students, especially our working students, because we find that they enjoy the interactive nature of the course, as well as the ability to apply what they're learning very next day on the job. It focuses on business writing, professional persona and presentation, as well as small team communication. And it introduces students to the strategic nature of business communications and skills that are necessary in a global business environment. So it's really exciting to offer this course online because it helps us to connect all the pieces virtually through what we now have to do in the job every day. So some of our student testimonials that I want to share with you. One student said that they leverage the skills that they learn in business communications every day on the job, which is fantastic. Another student said that they polish their communication skills to the point that they are comfortable with peers and clients several years their senior. So whether you yourself are a seasoned business professional or you're just getting started, the course really helps you to leverage those skill sets. And as we know today, in the world that we live in, there's so much information overload. And another student said that they learned the importance and power of being able to analyze messages and synthesize them into clear communication. But one of my favorites is that a student has said they no longer have to think about communicating effectively because now it's a habit. And that's what the course is designed to do. And as you can see with our competence journey, our job as instructors is to take you from unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. Now, it might sound silly, but anytime we want to learn a new skill set. So say, for instance, I want to learn to play the violin. I don't know the first thing about that, so I don't even know what I don't know. And you might be a skilled presenter already and a fantastic business writer, and perhaps you're even really good at interpersonal communication, but there might be a small skill set within that, say your nonverbal delivery, that you really want to work on. And until you know what nonverbal delivery is all about, then you're at the unconscious incompetence level. And as you learn more about nonverbal delivery, your tone or your facial expressions, then you become consciously incompetent. Now I know what I don't know, and it bothers me. I want to master that skill set. And then when I work hard, I can move to conscious competence where I've got the skill set down. But by the end of this 7.5-week course, we want to get you to the place where you are unconsciously competent, meaning it's second nature and you can go in to any situation and communicate effectively. So how do we do that? We do that through both self-assessment, you turning in assignments and assessing yourself, but also external assessment, getting feedback from those around us. So throughout our presentation, anytime you see a light blue arrow, that's something that you're going to be working on or assessing yourself. And the dark blue arrow is feedback that's coming either from your classmates, your teammates, your instructor, or your own professional network.
Thanks, Kim. My name is Kat Hills, and I'm so glad you're with us today. So let's begin looking at the first 2 weeks of your transformative journey. As Kim mentioned, we start off at the unconscious incompetence level where we don't know what we don't know. And as Kim mentioned with her good analogy about violin, we just don't know, and it's where we all start off when we're learning something new. So in the first 2 weeks, you'll see the various tasks, and my students have told me that one of their favorite tasks is the People Styles Assessment. And that's an 18-question survey designed to give you insight on your particular personality type. There are 4 personality types, and they are amiable, expressive, analytic, and driver. And I'm going to let Kim unpack some of that for you.
Thanks, Kat. So when we look at people styles, it's like any assessment, but a little bit different. So sometimes we take self-assessments and it's great to learn about ourselves, but the point of people styles is to learn about those that you work with so that you can flex your communication to better interact with them. I'm sure you've been there before where you're sending constant communication over and over again. And so this assessment is designed to help you think strategically about who am I communicating to? What are their wants, needs, and concerns? How can I change or tweak just a little bit what I'm saying, how I'm saying it to get my desired results? Because we all know it's better to spend a little bit more time preparing that first communication and have that communication be the one that goes through rather than all the emails and follow-ups and phone calls. So when we look at people styles, you can see on the right side, the driver and the expressive style, those styles are more assertive. And then it's balanced with the less assertive styles, the analytic and the amiable on the left-hand side. The upper side are our styles that show less emotion. So they're less social, they're more task-oriented. Where the bottom 2 styles, the amiables and expressives, are more emotive. They show more emotion. They talk with their hands, and they like to socialize. Now, you can fall anywhere on this spectrum. You could be an expressive analytic if you're more towards the middle, or you could be a driver if you're far to the outside. So we're going to give you just a little insight into this assessment and the different styles. So analytics, their motto, and this may be you or someone that you work with, let's do it right the first time so we don't have to do it over. So this style really into data and details. Tell them what has worked in the past and they will be able to make some decisions. When you're managing them, and you've probably encountered people that have everything organized on their Excel spreadsheets and they really keep asking questions and want more data and information. So when you're seeking to get an opinion or a decision from an analytic, you want to give them a lot of information. You want to give them some time to make the decision, and you want to think before answering so you can survive the drill down. That's contrasted with our amiable style. Well, the amiable and analytic are both sharing the fact that they're not more aggressive of a style. They're different in that the amiable has an emotional level that they show in their daily interactions. So this is a person on your team, or perhaps yourself, that's really concerned with the team harmony. They want everybody to be heard. Their motto is, in fact, let's let everyone be heard and make sure that we're all listened to. So this is a person on the team that the process is actually more important than the decision. How we get that decision made through a process is what drives that person. So when managing them, they do want to be socialized with. They want to feel that you're empathizing with them and that you're showing proven processes. Another style is the expressive, and the expressive's motto is let's socialize and have fun getting this all done together. This is a person on your team that loves to tell great stories, very gregarious, great presenters because they don't mind going first. So when you're working with expressives, it's great to listen to them. Sometimes they come up with brilliant ideas, and they just want to be heard. The last style is the driver style, and this style is let's not waste time, let's get this done now. So you can see that they like their time, they want you to save them time, they want to be challenged and have quick, direct answers. So when we're building teams, we actually look at people styles and look to give a diversity of skill sets. And we know that through teamwork, great things can happen. But it's also a challenge because sometimes you could have a driver that really wants to get things done, balanced with an amiable that wants to make sure everybody's heard. The expressive's telling some great stories that's important information for everyone to hear, and the analytics trying to dig down for information. So through this assessment, we give you the skills in the class to flex your style for each of these participants so that you can be a more effective communicator on your team. So once again, it's a really fun assessment that you'll get to take when you enroll in the course. And Kat's going to tell you a little bit more about what we cover in those first 2 weeks.
Thanks, Kim. And also, after this webinar, we will be sending you a people style assessment survey so you can take the survey yourself and find out where you fall, where your personality type is. So as you can see, again, we're in the first 2 weeks, and you're going to have an opportunity to get some peer feedback from your personal introduction video, and you will learn about the team dynamic based on the people styles assessment and your company selection message, which is where you write a persuasive message to your teammates, trying to convince them to choose the company you're going to study over the next 7 weeks. In the past, students have chosen companies like Amazon, Walmart, Wells Fargo, really fascinating companies that you can really dig into and get a lot of information. And the great thing about this course is that you can use the skills that you're learning every week in your real life job in terms of getting feedback, practicing your written skills, and team contracts. I mean, negotiating the parameters where your team is going to interact. And throughout the course, you're going to continue to build your fluency with online presentations and collaborative tools such as YouTube, Zoom, which we're on right now, Desire to Learn, and also our discussion boards. We have a very robust discussion board conversation where not only do you get to reach out to your specific teammate, but to all of the members of the class. So we're going to continue our journey from unconscious competence to conscious competence, and you will continue to benefit from all the value-added assignments that you can use in your real-life job the very next day, right after class. So let's look at weeks 3, 4, and 5. So you either be at the conscious incompetence level, where you're aware of what you don't know and it bothers you, or you might be at the conscious competence level, where you know how to do it, but it takes effort. So in this slide, you can see that we're moving towards collaborative presentations, self-evaluations, as well as peer evaluation. And these skills will directly impact your performance in the workplace. For example, by practicing identifying strengths and weaknesses of your particular company in the course, that's a skill that will directly benefit and positively affect your ability to do similar tasks in your own business interactions. As well, practicing giving and receiving constructive feedback is another business muscle that needs to be exercised regularly. So we're continuing our journey towards unconscious competence. Many students also gain a great deal of insight into their professional persona through the outside leadership communications evaluation, where you reach out to your business network with a series of questions and they give you feedback, and that's really an invaluable tool. So we're still going on our journey. We're kind of ending it here. You're making your way from conscious competence to the unconscious competence level, which is where we want to be. And you'll feel confident and ready for these last 2 weeks. You're really ready to put it all together. As you can see, in these 2 weeks, you're going to develop a professional digital profile, which is your own website that really will highlight your business skill sets. And the last activity in the class, and really it's uniquely special to Eller and one of the favorites of the students, is our case competition. And that's where your team will present your final work product to a panel of outside assessors. You'll be competing against your class's other teams, and the judges will crown one of the teams the winner. And again, this is directly going to affect your job in your real life, because mastering the art of persuasive presentations is an invaluable skill as you move forward through your career. So this is a snapshot of one of my past students presenting his portion of his team's case competition. He's utilizing robust graphics, he has a professional appearance, and he's demonstrating all that they have learned in the past 7 weeks. And this will ensure that you have reached the unconscious competence level. Good job.
One of my favorite assignments in the course is the professional digital profile. Through this assignment, you bring together everything that you've learned in business communications. So the professional digital profile is designed to be a one-stop shop to leverage all of your skill sets. These can be skill sets you've learned throughout your BSBA program or skill sets you've learned on the job. One of the items in the professional digital profile is a sample of your writing. And here's one of our former students, Jennifer Willis. This is her homepage for her digital profile, and I'll show you a couple more in just a minute. And on the profile, in addition to the writing piece, you'll have a professional snapshot video that introduces you to the world. You'll be using the graphics and visual design components we learn in business communication, and you'll also be learning to craft a narrative about your professional persona. What is it that makes you you, and why should an employer want to promote or hire you as you work towards this degree? So it's a great opportunity for you to highlight your skill sets and show your personality. Here's another example from one of our former students, Kaya Valencia, and then a final example on the professional digital profile from Tony Heights. So now that we've given you just a little bit of snapshot into Business Communications 314, we've talked about some of the business writing pieces, we've talked about the professional digital profile, you can see a poll just popped up. We'd love to get your insight into what you are most interested in. Is it enhancing your business writing? Is it the receiving of continuous feedback throughout those 7.5 weeks to make you a better communicator? Is it the people styles assessment? Is it working with virtual teams online? Is it the case competition where you'll present synchronously with a live panel of judges? Or is it the professional digital profile where you can really highlight all of your skills? And I can see that everybody's voting, about 33% of you. So as that number keeps going up, I just wanted to close out by saying the course is really designed for you to learn as much as you want to. It's one of those courses where the amount of work that you put in, you'll get that back tenfold. So if it's one area that you're specifically interested in honing your skills, we'll be able to help you to do that. Throughout your entire process, at Eller, you'll not only be benefiting from the feedback that you'll be getting from your instructor, but you'll be getting some feedback from your Eller success coach, who I'll introduce you to in just a moment. Based on the poll, it looks like the top thing that everybody is most interested in is receiving continuous feedback. So continuous feedback is something that you'll get a lot of. Like I said, those blue and light blue and dark blue arrows. And so we're here to help you with that. So now I'm going to introduce you to Megan Welsh. She will be your success coach here in the Eller College.
Hey guys, so as most of you know, there's some of those key benefits that draws students initially to online programs, and that's no different for Arizona Online. So you get that flexibility where you can really work through your education at your pace while still being able to maintain working full-time and taking care of your family and kind of all those other responsibilities that non-traditional students typically have on their plates. But for Eller Online specifically, we really have tried to make a point to bring a human touch into online learning. And so you kind of got a glimpse into what a course would look like in the upper division for Eller, and Become 314 is a really great example that we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that we still have the same high caliber in our courses, and that you're still getting that group aspect and working with your peers, even though you're a little bit more isolated with that online learning. And so going through, again, kind of making sure there's that human touch there. All of our Eller Online students have a success coach that kind of works as their support system going through the program. And so for all of the upper division business administration students, I work as your success coach. And what that means is I'm helping you both on the academic side, whether that's getting you enrolled in the correct classes, making sure that you have all the units and requirements needed to get to graduation, as well as kind of connecting you with professors, helping you find different study strategies or all the little things that go into being successful in your classes. But then on the other side, we also help to work with you on the career professional development. And so that means we're trying to make sure to give you opportunities to work on those professional developments, having webinars, doing different things where we're connecting you with different corporate partners or connecting you with companies and recruiters, just so that you're really thinking about those things that need to be worked on as you're going into your career. And so looking at that end goal of how are you going to be able to best utilize this degree once you're finished with it, and kind of be strategic in how you get to where you want to be professionally. And so now we're going to kind of jump into the QA session. And so I prompt you guys to ask any questions that you have, and we can kind of go over those. So I have a question that's very common, that most students are interested in how kind of the group project works within that virtual setting. And so if Kat or Kim, if you could kind of touch on how the big case competition works within that virtual setting and how students are able to kind of have that unique interaction with each other.
Sure. Kim, shall I take this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the case competition in the online iteration of this course, we utilize Zoom, and I identify and recruit judges from different business walks of life. And we generally have a whole weekend where each team gets about 30 minutes to present their case, and then the judges discuss the highs and lows of each presentation, and then we hear another team. So the teams are kind of batched in about 4 groupings. And so you'll be competing against, your team will be competing against 3 other teams. And you'll watch those team presentations, the other team presentations as well. And then the judges will quickly confer, and they'll be able to crown the winner right there in real time, so you won't have to wait. And students really enjoy it. It works really well. Zoom is a great tool to have this, so it's really a robust and engaging experience.
And so we just got another question from Ashley asking if there was time to speak on the whole bachelor program. And so we can definitely talk to that. Again, I'm the success coach who works with all of our students to get you to graduation. And so I can answer any specifics about the program, but I, for now, can give you a little bit of an overview. And so a lot of times our students will come in having some transfer courses if they did work previously, and then going into the upper division, and it's kind of the meat and potatoes of the business administration degree. And so what that kind of looks like is there's 16 classes in the upper division that you have to complete, and all of our classes are in 7-week formats. And so going through, each semester has 2 7-week sessions on it, one in the front end, one on the back end. As full-time student, if you were doing 2 7-week classes in one session, 4 classes total for the semester, you could essentially finish the upper division curriculum within 4 consecutive semesters. And so that's kind of gives you an overview of how it's laid out. And so with it looks like we have another question about the 7-week format. So it is a more accelerated version of those classes than what you typically see. And so main campus, it's usually stretched out to a 15-week time frame. And so it is shortened to 7 weeks, which makes it feel like a lot of information kind of being thrown your way. But we have made a point to make it so you're only ever taking 2 classes in one 7-week session at a time. So while you are getting a lot of information thrown your way, you're only focused on 2 topics at a time. It kind of helps balance it out so that you're going through. And I will be honest, the first 7-week session can feel like a lot, but it is something that you're able to get used to. And once you get on that kind of time frame, our students have been very successful going through those 7 weeks. So please let me know if there's any more questions on the program side of things. So we got one about how do you apply. So there's kind of a 2-part process to it. Initially, you would want to apply for Arizona Online. And so you can actually go to the website or just type in Google Arizona Online, and that'll pull up information not only about Eller's program, but all of the programs that are offered through Arizona Online. You would go through that process. It's the same process as you would do for main campus U of A. And then once you've applied through that, you would be connected to the Eller team if you're interested in doing the business administration degree. We would assess kind of where you are, if you have any transfer credits coming in, and then it would kind of decide if you were ready for the pre-business level of Eller or if you're ready to go into the upper division. And then that would kind of spearhead the track for that.
Yeah, and I'll just add in, Megan, that all of you have a partnership, your companies have a partnership with Arizona Online. So the person to connect you with what you need to know from an application standpoint that takes into consideration your tuition assistance program, your internal processes, is Jana Armstrong. So you can reach her through this email. Just send her a note directly. She will get right back to you and put you on the right track. So she will be able to talk to you about the tuition reduction. That's a part of the partnership, the application fee waiver, connecting you, if it's not her, with your corporate enrollment counselor, your dedicated one to your company. So she is your one-stop shop for Arizona Online. Thanks, Megan.
And so do we have any other questions? It can be in relation to anything with the program, the corporate partnerships, or the class specifics. So we are here to answer your questions. We'll give it a few more minutes to see if anyone has any more. But other than that, as Cara mentioned, that contact information for Jana will kind of be your best line of action to go to first if you are interested in learning more and kind of moving forward with the process.
Well, guys, if there's not any more, if there are, please keep writing. But in the meantime, I will just say thank you so much to the Eller team for a great presentation and some really fantastic information for you guys. Thank you guys for participating, and we hope you learned something, and we hope it inspired you to take some steps towards your education goals. And if it has, please remember again that your company has entered into a partnership with Arizona Online. So there's some fantastic benefits that you can take advantage of when thinking about pursuing your degree. So tuition reduction, fee waivers, dedicated enrollment counselor, and just connect with Jana Armstrong, and she can just make it happen for you guys. So the other thing to remember is that you will be getting an email from us that has a link so you can take the People Styles assessment and kind of begin your own journey on getting to that unconscious competence level with your communication style. So thank you again. I don't know, Megan, do we have any more questions?
Nope, I think that covers it.
Okay. Wonderful. Thanks you guys again, and we'll see you at the next webinar.